Mains approaching, and trust me, it has reached faster than you anticipated or you expected. You are today conscious, you are curious, you are anxious, you're confused, you are tired, you're happy, you're sad. I do not know what kind of feeling that you have got. Probably. There's no word for it, what the feeling that you're going through. And if you're going for the first time in mains examination, I'm sure you've never had this feeling before. I have seen this all my life, people going through such a stage in their life. In fact, the stakes are big, and that makes you little conscious and little kind of all the feelings I was just talking about. I was just thinking about a word, if there's a word exists for this. But then also I must add it here, you're a bit tired also. Some fatigue may have set in. But then I suppose this is the time when you have to peak, and this is the time when you have to really deliver. And quite a few things have not gone as you planned. I mean, that's something which is a very common thing. Almost everybody I at least have interacted with, they had the same feeling that we couldn't do the thing which we initially planned after the PT result. That's a common thing. If it is a problem which is happening to everybody, you should not be bothered too much about that. In fact, there's so many things happening. Like, look at the eyes of the people around you. Their expectations have never peaked so high. I mean, their expectations are so high. I mean, they're looking at you with an expectation that you are the district collector or an ambassador in making, or a SP or whatever that you are looking. They're all looking at you with such high expectations. It has never been there when you're preparing for this examination. That's a big load that I'm sure you're having it on you. And when you look at the time and the task, if you look at your own self, there's absolutely no connect between the two. The task is so much that there's so many things to be done, and the time that you have at disposal is very limited. And the last few weeks, I must tell you, have been fastest in your life. And trust me, the remaining days are going to be even faster. They're really moving very, very fast. And that is something which I must tell you is the backdrop that you are in at the moment. And I'm sure this is not something which is happening to you. It is happening to all the students, all the candidates who are giving this exam mains this year. While you are going for this examination, I must also take some time here to tell you about certain things which I would like you to do at this stage when you're so close to the main examination. In fact, I have listed them down as 9 things which I would like you to mention that you should be doing at this stage. And then definitely it will add to your chances of getting higher score. 1, I would like you to do self-review of all the answers that you have written. Yes, your own answers which has been evaluated or not evaluated irrespective. Some answers that you written in test series or you written for your own self or for peer review, whatever. Sit down with those answers. Look at the content that you have in the answer and ask yourself, is it my best answer or can I add some value to this? I want your mind to be little conscious about some value addition at this stage, some special effect in this stage. And I would be very curious if you could think about, hey, I could have quoted this Supreme Court judgment in this. I could have given this data in that. I could have started with this line and I could have added this fact. I could have added this very special effect in that. And that self-review of this questions, they really make you conscious of adding them when you're actually giving the real examination. The second thing which I like you to keep in them is that you should have some state effect practice. 3 hours of test of questions which you have not seen, be it optional, be it your test series or be it your GS paper, whatever. 3 hours, and then you should be having in next few days mixed sessions. Say someday you take the morning session 3 hours, someday you take the afternoon session 3 hours. But those 3 hours you should go into the examination-like condition, keep your mobile phone off, keep the questions which you have not seen ever before, and then start writing them and then see how you perform in those 3 hours. So this state effect that really pays, and I think this writing practice, a lot of things you will be able to discover, your timing, your understanding of the facts, or your confusion about certain topics, they will all get cleared. And this is one thing which I would like to mention. Third thing, which is a very unique advice which I'm going to give you, and I've seen some toppers making good use of it, and I like you to tell you that this also works. You should look at the previous year's question as often as you can. When you're looking at the previous year's question, take any question, roll your finger wherever your finger stops on the PYQ. Spend 30 seconds to think about mentally conceiving the points that you're going to write in this answer. 30 seconds, not more than that. Maybe you can gradually cut it down to 20 seconds. But 30 seconds, your mind should be able to produce an answer about the points that you're going to write in that. So that is like 30 seconds to 20 seconds that you have got. You should be able to think about points that you're going to write in the examination on this question very clearly. You know what? Why I'm saying this? If you don't do this practice, what happens is mind, which is like thinking slowly, they would be able to produce the points that you could have written in the answer when you come back home and you're having your dinner. That's a very bad idea. That should not happen. So mind has to be trained that it produces the best points in the shortest possible time. So this mental conceiving the answer points, don't write anything, just think about those points in 30 seconds, and that's one thing which I would like to do. The second thing that I like to do, look at the same questions. I mean, maybe not the same question that you did just now, the some question that you may have seen yesterday or day before. Think for 30 seconds the opening line of it. See, introduction and conclusion are very important. So in 30 seconds, look at the question. You already have thought about the points that you're going to write. What will be my opening line about it? And do as many questions as possible of the points that you have already thought. This will be my opening line. A lot of students take time in getting the best line to start the answer. Quite often they have got the third line is the best line because they have not trained their mind to produce the best line, the first line. So that's one thing I would like you to do exercise. Third thing with the previous question I like to do is that do the same exercise with the same question for which you have first thought about the points a few days ago, maybe yesterday, or today you have thought about their opening line. Maybe tomorrow or day after, take up the same question and then think about the closing line that I would have. And I'm sure at various stages I have taught and then talked about how to really do the closing line, where you are actually reminding the examiner, I'm the person that you are waiting for. There you have to meet some of those expectancy of the examiner, not just answer, but getting a feel that, hey, I'm the right person that you're going to choose for the job that I'm writing this exam for. So I suppose that closing line is also very important because that line is the last thing in the mind of the examiner before the examiner is going to give you marks. So you have to be very careful about preparing for this. And a few hundred questions for which you have thought about the closing lines, that really, really works. So that was the third thing that I wanted to tell you. The first thing I told you, like you should be doing a self-review of the answer. Second thing I told you that state effect practice you should be doing. And third thing which I have told you that you should go for 30 seconds for point, 30 seconds for introduction, and 30 seconds for conclusion. And don't do it in one go, do it at a different interval. And first the points, and then the introduction, then the conclusion. Fourth thing which I like to tell you at this stage that you should be doing is that you should be preparing for thematic X factors. And then thematic X factor is something which make you answer special. See, all of you who are writing this examination, after passing the PT examination and going for the mains, almost all of you have become same because you have read the similar sources, you have got similar intellect, and then you are writing about the same points, nearly the same points. But then, can I get something which is special that will make my answer specific, like some report, maybe some fact, some chart, some flow chart, some concept, some idea, some keyword, something of that nature. And that has to be prepared thematically. Let's say for Supreme Court, for Parliament, for banking sector, for women, for ethics, for anything. Like, I mean, you have those themes of general studies for which you must have something specific, and then just keep revising them. Then if you have got a topic on a keyword or a fact or data or flowchart, whatever on women, if the question comes, you can justify and use it in paper 1 also, paper 4 also, paper 2 also, paper 3 also, if the theme is women. So you have to basically be prepared of that kind of things which can be used there. Fifthly, I suppose you should be also looking for some fresh data, fresh examples. Because all those examples which have entered your textbooks or the notes of the coaching institutes, they are available to everybody and everybody is going to use it. But if you give something which is very fresh, something which has just happened, and I'm sure those answers are rewarded always very high. I have seen so many toppers and their scores and their approach, and that really works. Have something fresh to be picked up from the newspapers, and that really make your answer special and stand apart. And then definitely scored high. Sixthly, I would like to say, I like you to read the syllabus once every day. Make it as a habit. If you do it twice, I'll be happier. Once before you sleep and once after you get up. Twice you look at the syllabus. I think your orientation to the syllabus and the keywords of the syllabus is very fresh in your mind, and they get reflected as the part of your answer. And that is the commitment that UPSC is looking for, that you understand what you have to actually address. And that is one exercise I like to do. Seventhly, I would like to tell you that you spend as much time as it is available at your hand, 30 minutes for structuring, flowcharting the essay paper that you have got. The essay paper that you have got, I think I like you to take up those essays and then make a flow chart of it, and then write as many essays as you can in the remaining days that you have got. It is very important exercise, and that's my point number 7. Point number 8 I would like to add here is that please do not take compulsory paper lightly. I would like you to take the compulsory paper also seriously, and at least 2 years paper you should write full length. And whenever time permits, whenever you are tired, when you are a little change that you desire, and probably if you have got up in the middle of the night and you don't feel like sleeping, you can take up one paper and write for the entire length. At least 2 papers of the past years that you must write full length. And that a lot of people do this mistake of ignoring them, and then I don't want you to do that. Ninth and the last thing that I'm talking about is that I like you to take care of your health. You have to be staying hydrated. When I say health, I don't mean health only physical health. I want physical health, I want mental health, I want social health to be taken care of. In fact, do not do this mistake of cutting off from everybody. You should pick up your own social group, your family members, your closest friends, and spend time with them. You spend time with your own self, do some meditation. That really helps. And I think it is one exercise which is where your mind will be at the best performing scale, and I think that's very important. So social, mental and physical health is very important, and I'm sure if you are keeping these 9 points which I was sharing with you, I am definite you would be making the best possible use of the time that is lying ahead of you. And one thing I would like you to sign off with: you are worth gold. Trust it. My best wishes.